Well, Cancer, Merry Christmas. It's December 2018, would you believe? Wow, what a year it's been. I'm pretty tired. You know, astrologers have bad transits too, as I was saying to a couple of the other star signs. And you have to be careful this month because there is a tendency with the moon beginning the month in opposition to Mars and Neptune that you could be feeling a little aggressive in the way you approach things. And that's because the moon is in the third house of your horoscope, opposite Mars, opposite Saturn, and in what we call a trine to Pluto. So there's a real intensity. It's almost as if you're on a mission this month. And perhaps because it's Christmas time, you know, Cancerians, male and female, have a strong tendency to want to, you know, be with family and to take a bit more control over that. And so, you know, if there's some resistance to that, then of course, yeah, Christmas is a hypersensitive time. You can run into a few problems, but that shouldn't really dominate you for the whole of the month. There is a new moon taking place in your 6th house. That happens on the 7th. And that's also at a time when Mercury starts to move forward in its motion. And this is all taking place within your, what we call your working arena, and to some extent your day-to-day routine. So it's going to affect not just your work, but it's going to predominantly affect your work. And the new moon shows us a whole new attitude developing to the way that you do your work. Now, the other thing the 6th house rules is your health, your vitality, the pattern of well-being and how well or how poorly you're managing that. And so this could well be a time where you are taking stock of how well you've handled that throughout 2018 and looking at new ways to revamp your whole concept of health and well-being. It's interesting that your ruler, the moon, will be in its new moon phase in this area. So I've just got this sense, especially because there's a right angle to Mars at that point. So you start the month off with the opposition, then it goes to the square. These are all challenging aspects. And this is in the health portion of your horoscope, that you may start to finally really not just intellectually connect the dots with how your emotions really determine the hormonal and ultimately the physical response of your body to those emotions, good or bad or indifferent. So there may be a moment where the penny drops this month, is what I'm saying, where those emotions and the reaction of those emotions to certain people, certain circumstances in your work, at home, start to give you a direct perception of how those things mar your health, mar your well-being, undermine your good feeling and your physical vitality. That's got to be a good thing, I think. That's a great gift by the universe to you on Christmas, right? So I'm liking what I see there, and of course that's the preliminary part of the cycle. I mean, you can't sort of divide up the lunar cycle into just the new moon and full moon, but I was going to say the full moon takes place in your sun sign. So that's why my feeling is that as you make that connection on the new moon around the 7th, that's going to come around, and then it's going to make that conjunction from around the 12th to the 15th, 16th, when it comes into conjunction with Mars. And that's in the zone of your higher mind. So this shows that you are really taking on this understanding as a spiritual or lifestyle change. That new moon shift is going to work on you in many different ways, not just on the practical mental aspects of the way you live your life, but also on the spiritual and higher mental level. And then that full moon taking place in your sun sign of Cancer on 22nd, 23rd, 2 days before Christmas, makes the link between that realization and your being. So even though the realization takes place, you will start to feel the benefits of that, probably later in the month, just before Christmas. And this will empower you. It will give you a clarity in your emotions. It can steady your emotions. The full moon is often known to disrupt and agitate the emotions. But I've just got a sense that there may be a solidifying and a calming of your feelings. That also has to do with the fact that as that full moon takes place, the sun is going to be transiting your 7th house of relationships along with Saturn. So Saturn is always a very steadying effect. It can depress some people. I don't think it's going to depress you because of the nature of that new moon and then the full moon being in its own sign of Cancer. I feel that is more, in your case, a steadying of your emotions, and also the opportunity for you to broach any of those important relationship issues that have been plaguing you for some time. You can do it in a way that is sensitive, serious, of course, that's the Saturn influence, but in a way that actually engages your partner or your business partner too. It's not just only to do with relationships of an emotional nature, although I feel in your case it probably is. And you can really come to some important conclusions, and that being a couple of days before Christmas is an excellent omen to keep calm and peace amongst the clan on that most sensitive day of the year. You'd have to agree. You more than any, I think, have the knack of being able to nurture everyone and bring them together. But there may be a slightly more serious tone to this Christmas. In any case, while we're on the topic of Christmas, I would again like to wish you, if I didn't at the beginning, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, although I will be putting out a 2019 New Year video for you to tell you exactly what's happening, especially with that transit of Jupiter now in your 6th house of health and work, Saturn still transiting through your 7th house of relationships, Neptune there in the most significant spiritual mentoring part of your horoscope, also travel and higher education. That's going to feature very, very strongly in 2019, but I'm not going to jump the gun. But again, just to wish you all the best for the festive season, to thank you for tuning in throughout the past 12 months. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Stop in at astrology.com.au. I've now done the 2019 full yearly horoscope for all these different areas, and the nice thing about it, my gift to you, is that it's free. See you in the new year. Take care now. Bye-bye.